Welcome to another episode of Shop Talk down here at Page 3's Game Zone. I'm Nathan Varney.
And I'm Patrick Taggett.
And today we're going to be taking a look at yet another final issue of Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, how many times have they ended this series? Like 10?
Probably more.
I mean, they ended the first time with Heroes United, or Heroes Reborn.
Yeah.
Then that...
Funny you should say Heroes Reborn.
And then you had... Then that went 13 issues, and they relaunched it again, and they've relaunched it so many times. So, it's the end of the Fantastic Four again. This book is scheduled to release on Wednesday, April the 29th, 2015. And it is issue, 465, is that right? 645, 465, if only.
It probably ended then, too.
Yeah. Primary art and writing, James Robinson and Leonard Kirk. So this book is wrapping up a Fantastic Four storyline. I guess the end. Maybe that's what they're calling it. End, is that right? The end.
The end.
Regardless. And just to be, I guess to throw this out, neither of us had read any of the other parts of the story leading up to this. We just jumped right in and read the last issue.
Yes.
So, but I have to say, interesting.
Oh, really?
I think you mentioned earlier that, and I agree, I'm interested in going back and catching the first part of it.
Yeah.
The first parts, I guess. I think this is maybe the fourth part. Seems like a really cool story. Quiet Man, I guess, has concocted a plan to take over the world, and effectively blame Reed Richards for the downfall, and then swoop in and save everybody, so everybody would be like, "Oh, Quiet Man, you're so wonderful."
Yeah.
Of course, in this issue, Reed pretty much is just like, "You're wrong. I wager everything on it," quite literally, because if Reed had been wrong about Quiet Man being wrong, then
he would have been wrong.
Then Reed Richards would have taken the fall.
Yes.
For this catastrophe.
Yeah.
Some really interesting groups of characters, some that I had not seen in a long time. I think the one that I was the most interested in to see, and it's very possible he's been in this whole storyline, but again, we haven't read those other books. Sleepwalker. A character that I really have effectively not seen since his original series ended in the mid-90s.
Yeah. He was more of a Spider-Man related character than one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's been throughout the series for a little bit now. Seems like I've seen him on the covers and stuff like that. But yeah, and from the looks of the books, he's beefed up a little bit more than what I remember.
Well, he some other characters. I think we were both a little surprised to see Jim Hammond in the book. I guess
original Human Torch,
the original Android Human Torch from the very first issue of Marvel Comics in 1939? Was it 38 or 39?
38 or 39.
Yeah,
I think.
Regardless, we're maybe off a year. I think it was 39. I know DC started in 38 with Action. Was June of 38. So I was thinking Marvel was the spring of 39. But regardless, it was Human Torch. They called him Human Torch, but I think they eventually went to call him. Was it Toro, or was that a different character?
No, Toro was like his little sidekick.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
He was an actual kid, though. I don't know what happened to him.
Okay. But so Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch, in this story with Johnny Storm Human Torch, who's been without his powers. He regained his powers in this. Franklin, of course, loses it on Psycho Man. Yeah. Goes psycho on Psycho Man.
Psycho on Psycho Man.
And, so of course, Franklin and Valeria kind of, other than really Reed Richards, Franklin and Valeria kind of turn out to be the linchpins to setting things right.
Yeah.
To defeating Quiet Man, to defeating Psycho Man. There were lots of other characters that kind of had some cameos, really neat. Scarlet Witch, the Wizard She-Thing,
the Fearsome Four,
and Sandman and Thundra, which was that. But that was kind of
really neat seeing Sandman in his original outfit too.
Yes, a very old school look for him, which it was neat. It actually had enough of a modern draw to it.
No, they definitely,
like how it was drawn.
Yeah,
actually made it look like a decent looking costume.
They drew it very well.
So it didn't look like an old costume.
No.
So really neat. Solid artwork, solid classic Fantastic Four art style.
Yeah.
I think. Probably the only really weird part about it was on the very first page. You look at the picture of Invisible Woman. Kind of looked like she had lost a bet and had to go get a haircut from a value store.
It looks like somebody put a bowl on her head and trimmed her own.
Yeah, she doesn't look like that in the rest of the book, but on the first page.
Yeah.
So, but fun. I imagine this entire story, the first 3 issues leading up to that, were probably going to be good reads.
Yeah, because I mean, apparently there's something going on in this pocket dimension and world that
one of the I guess one of the microverses.
Franklin had created on accident.
Yeah,
as per it goes every 10 or so years, and it also looked like it might have been like the Heroes Reborn characters were fighting the heroes on regular Earth.
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together on that. Yeah, okay.
So,
although the husks of the shells of their they weren't real.
Right.
They were soulless entities.
That's what I was wondering too. I wonder because it showed like the puppet master there. I'm wondering if he was the one that created those clay bodies.
Maybe.
Maybe how he does.
So for those of you that have read the first 3 parts of this, you're probably thinking to yourselves, "Yeah, you dummies! If you'd read this, you'd know." But certainly some interesting speculation. And I normally don't like to read the end of a story. I like to read a story in order. But this certainly made for a fun evening.
Yeah,
it was
definitely
an interesting read. I definitely want to go back and read the issues before that.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 issues before
definitely.
this. At least the 3 issues, if not maybe even a little further. So, even if you're not a Fantastic Four fan, I think this would be a great story to check out.
Yeah.
If you're a Fantastic Four fan, if you haven't read Fantastic Four in a while, this definitely. I mean, I know it's ending the series, but definitely pick this. I think you definitely should pick this storyline up.
Yeah.
And give it a read. Very good.
A lot of series, they don't end well usually. They just kind of it seems like they rush it through and end a story sometimes. But this looks like it was very well thought out and planned. So
yeah.
It was good.
All right. Well, that sounds like a final thought to me.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's a good place to end it on. So, all right. Well, thanks for checking out another episode of Shop Talk down here at Page 3's Game Zone, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.